WesWes, y'all.
All right, welcome everybody to another Empty Out the Clip podcast, the EOTC. I'm your host Cams, and I'm with the brothers from West Auckland, the Heart of West Auckland. Eric, Leti, what's up, brothers?
What's up, Woos?
Hey, what's up, man?
Good to see you, La.
Yo.
Good to see you boys for another round of the week's news. So, you know the drill. Let's make some shout outs. Eric.
Yeah. My daughter was still sick from last week. I think she had a fever and that. She got over it, and then she came down with a nasty ass cough. So I think she ended up catching the virus. I think the whole thing was a complete virus because we didn't take her to doctors the first time. So I took her to the A&E on, I think it was on Monday or Tuesday, just after the weekend, because her coughing wouldn't stop. So yeah, big shout out to those guys up on Local Road. It didn't take them long to figure it out. Apparently, it's a recurring thing with her because she has asthma as well. So they gave her some steroids, and then she came right. Her cough cleared up straight away because she was hard on coffee for 2 hours, and then after the steroids and the inhaler, she was out for an hour or so before they double checked on her and let us go. So yeah, that was cool. Another big shout out to my family all my cousins in there that are already in Rara. We'll be flying out probably next the end of next week, sorry. Yeah, so that's us. Get the work done. Yep, that's me.
Oh man, my list of shout outs, man. Shout outs to the guests that we had on the back of 135 to Shu. Gummo Charles, his fabulous work that he does down at Rampage, and also to all the Queensland reps out there flexing our
How can I forget?
landslide. I told everyone, hey, it's gonna be a landslide. I try to do a collaboration on Instagram. That's like when you tag someone to share your post. So I got the big fuck off from Daryl. It's only a game, mate. It's only a game. Shout out to that guy too, man, for letting me flex this nice Huddle G piece of clothing. But I did say, hey, we'll close the series out up there at Suncorp. There's no way that it can be done. And my last shout outs to my wife, man. Second week on a row, back to back night shifts. The energy level's not there, eh? It's a different sort of work environment for everybody. Those are my shout outs, man.
Yup.
Sick you boys. I want to make a shout out to all the listeners out there that are listening in, tuning in to the WesWes Network and all our content. This is the EOTC, the Empty Out the Clip. Go check us out on our group page on Facebook, the Empty Out the Clip group Facebook page, where you can jump in and throw in your 5 cents, or throw in a little article and here and there about what happened in the week, so we can have a talk about it on the podcast and shout you out at the same time. Just like my man Filippo, that's always in there every week throwing in stuff for us to talk about. Appreciate it. Appreciate all that.
One more shout out from me, man, is to the Oos Taitalia. He listens in Taitalia. He's Mr. Bodyboarder guy. I think his other name is A.K. Vasa. He's probably gonna crack up when he hears this. But yeah, congratulations to your Nippo under 13s. Your 13s Burnside Nippo team. They took out the championship. So yeah, they were semi-finals last week. And he's at Friday. Yeah, they won. So yeah, congratulations on that to you and your team.
Sweet man. Also, shout out to not shout out. This episode is brought to you by Brownie by Brownie, a new startup out in West Auckland, the Isle of West Auckland. If you're in the area and you feel like you want something sweet, some nice delicious brownies you can have for your birthdays or picnics, or you got an event going on, you need a whole box of nice delicious brownies, chocolate, caramel, milk chocolate caramel brownies. Hit up Brownies by Brownie on Instagram, and they'll take care of you. All right, Eric, what are you up to during the week?
Again, I didn't work as much this week. I think I've only done 2 days this week. My leg's still playing up, so nothing new. But we did get a letter from the council.
Oh, is that?
It's regarding to, I think there's a risk. They have categories for risks for the houses that your house should fall under. So there's, I think, 3 categories. 3 being the worst of the 3. So if you fall under category 3, risk factor 3, where your life is in danger or recurring floods all the time in your area, then there's a possibility you might get a buyout. But because I think it's only us and another house that's 32 houses with occupants in them on our side of the street, it might be highly likely that we might get buyed out. So fingers crossed. We'll see how it goes. We're just going to fill out all the forms online.
Yeah.
And so we go from there. So it was good that we waited. I was expecting, because my brother did say something about the news. And something like that was coming up. So a bit of patience and see what happens. So when we come back, hopefully we can figure out where we're going to go from there.
Hopefully that goes well, man. Because I did hear, and then I did watch a snippet of it on RNZ. They had a rep. I think she must have lived on another cruise, maybe the one further down, or maybe no, it would be the same size. No, sorry, Ehrlich. So she came from Ehrlich, and they were discussing it. Like, you know, they had their Phil guy, the local MP in Henderson, come down and wanted to just engage with the neighbours, eh? And like they did say that they would be on the table in terms of like what they could do to fix that situation. But yeah, I just thought like some of the questionings from the radio was pretty heartless. It sounded heartless, you know. Yeah, very hopeful for you guys, man. And yeah, man, that'll be good, eh?
Yeah, just man, we're what 6 months now, 6 to 5 months now, and we're in a house that has no carpet. We're hardly eating furniture because we moved most of it out. It's it's annoying. You don't know. We're wanting to do stuff, but we can't put our foot down. We had all these plans of doing other things. Like I had other plans as well, same as my brother. But now that's all out the window until we find a new place and then we can settle down. So there's a lot of things we want to get sorted. We just want to move on.
Yeah.
But with the rain the other day, we were like, oh, I got up. And I was like looking around. I was like, shit, I'm still in that mode.
Yeah.
That's the thing, eh? Like, every time it's going to be a storm, you guys are just worried about the house, eh? Every time.
More like the water coming up to us because we got most of the porter stuff out in the storage, so that's cool. Storage does help. I wish it was free, though.
It's actually in that situation, bro. And, you know, this all happened ages ago of the first storm we had and the flooding, but even the airport got flooded and all of Auckland, but you never hear anything anymore.
Yeah.
You know, the media's come and gone, but the problem's still there.
Yeah.
You know, for a lot of people, it's just out of sight, out of mind now. You know, and you know, the shit that's happened with people's homes. Like, it's not just you guys; it's a whole lot of people. You know, it's still going, still happening, still happening.
Because I talked to some of my regular customers at work, and they start asking me, "Oh, how's it going?" Okay, oh, it's still the same, but now hopefully we'll get somewhere. So yeah, just been up to that. That's been me.
Sweetest. How about you? How's your week?
Oh man, it's been real encouraging now. Just real uplifted today. I remember last week, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh man, it feels like I'm walking under a cloud. But now it's been good, man. My daughter, she bought me a pair of shoes, man, and this came on the back of, she saw me, my son had his baptism, and I wore this Gap coat, you know, like your big woolen trench coat that you wore the other time.
Yeah.
So she saw it on me, and she's like, where'd you get that from, Dad? So I was like, oh, no, I just got it from the Asian shop. You know, there are lots of them, but then they have plus sizes. She's like, oh, I want one. So she's like, oh, I've always wanted to go to Save Mart. So Save Mart's their recycled clothing store in Newland, at the back of the fruit shop and the car yards and that. So she's obviously heard stories about us shopping there, and I said to her, I shopped, like when I had my, I think it was year 11 or year 12 and 13 ball, I shopped from Save Mart, because in my head I wasn't going to put the shoes on my parents, like to come up with the ticket price, like it was $50, like just to come up with that, it's like that's stretching it, you know. So I went to Save Mart, and I went in there and I said, I love that place because I could fit clothes back then. Same with her, we went in and shopping. She was like, man, the amount of winter clothes that they have in there, man. But it's like me, so it was like I was walking down memory lane again, going in there, but with her, and she was just like a little kid in a lolly shop, man. Just like going up and down the aisles, and I happened to be standing there in my shoes, man. I started feeling like I was getting gout in my big toe. I had my Air Maxes on, and I just happened to stop and grab these Adidas. They were on the shelf, and I was like, oh man, I wonder what these feel like. Put it on, and she's, oh, I'll buy them for you, Dad. I was like, shut up. So I sort of felt like, man, this might be kickstarting me to start training. I was supposed to go for a bike ride today with one of the bros and I failed. So hopefully next week you would have heard me going on about, oh yeah, funny waiting for a bike ride. But no, the week's been good, man. It's been cold though. I know that much.
Yeah, it has been, the last last 4 days. I think I worked on Friday. That was cold. That was freaking cold out there.
Because I hardly wear pants or apart from my work trousers and that. But man, I had like track pants. I was like wearing track pants for 3 days in a row. Man, I was like, damn, it must be getting soft. But if I can feel it and I'm getting gout pains, it must be really cold.
Cold, yeah.
How about you, Cam? How's your week been?
It's been good, eh? Same old. But it's funny because I forgot to do the gangamea last weekend. So I was like, oh man. I was like thin with the clothes in the wardrobe. I was like digging into the old school, the ones that can't fit anymore.
The back of the shop, the back.
Yeah. And I was feeling, it serves me right because these are things you gotta do, like that's normal. But for some reason, I know I just absent-minded, too busy, and I forgot to do the gangamea, man. And man, I had to dig deep down in the bottom of the drawers, man, for a week to go to work, man. More work.
We need these like memory lanes, like when he picked up this. Oh, I guess I remember this is the last time we went out.
But you know what's crack up about that? Everyone at work is like, where did you get that from? Where'd you buy that from? All my new clothes, but nah, this is just bottom of the barrel stuff in the wardrobe, man. Like,
but those vintages coming back up. I know they look that stylish.
Sure.
But there's a whole lot of like vintage store shops. They probably gone to Save Marts and all the Sally's places and just wash them and then iron them, put them on the rack.
And I know what people out there thinking, like, hey, you can just go wash something like for the day, like the next day. And I'm like, nah, man, when you're busy like me, man, got no time, man. Yeah. So I'm just happy that got to do the gangamea today, this morning. So everything's ready for all my clothes are ready for tomorrow,
for
man.
A month
for a week.
Now.
Ready for
the month.
But
nice.
man, I was like digging deep, man, in the wardrobe, man. Damn, freaking out. Now I got all those clothes now that I've never worn for ages. Putting in the rotation this week, boys.
Yeah.
Got it back in the rotation. So
wow, you must have heaps of clothes. I think in total I've probably got only 6 t-shirts.
Well, trousers, pants, right? I got two pairs of church pants, one that I can fit and one that I can't fit. I got 2 pairs of jeans, one that is big and one that is slim fit. And then I have my work trousers. I only got like 2 pairs of track pants. That's all I wear.
Yeah, same.
And everything else is just shorts.
Yeah.
See, the thing with me, like, and my partner says all the time, you got too many clothes, check things out. But the problem with me is that you only wear the clothes that's on top of the pile all the time. It recycles the top, but the ones that are at the bottom are ones that you never ever wear because you never get to it.
Yeah.
Because you're only recycling the ones at the top. So it might be, 3 pairs of pants, or 5 pairs of t-shirts, or that kind of stuff. But it's always the ones at the top because it's always the ones that are going over. But I just don't dig deep into the other stuff,
Just grab whatever's on top.
But because I had to, because I didn't do the washing, I had to dig deep in the old stuff. So I brought the old stuff out, and glad I did. But, man, that was
But your old stuff must be like my expensive stuff. My old stuff, man. I put that on. Shit, that's a different story. We're like, what the fuck you wearing, man?
But then it was kind of cool because some of this old stuff like I couldn't fit, but now it's like it's starting to fit. So, just thinking about man, we're going to the gym, so
it's working.
It's been working.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, man. So other than that, just same old work and listening to the news and seeing what to put up for the Into the Clip. And I gotta say, man, we got some good topics, man, coming in through the Facebook page. Some good topics. And topics I want to start with. Now, the news earlier on in the week was the government putting a new policy where for our health. So going to doctors if you need surgery done. The government's saying they're going to put Pasifika and Maori at the top of the list when it comes to getting surgery. And that's to address the fact that we are not getting attention. And so the solution to that problem is to for all waiting lists to put our people at the top of there. So they've got some fight back from some of the surgeons saying it's not fair because it should be who's the most sick. That should be first priority, not the color of your skin. And you've got David Seymour coming out and saying, no, that's not fair because what about the Indians and the Asians? You know, you talk about, seems like it's about the Europeans getting first priority, and they're going to change that. They're going to put the Europeans down the bottom, put the Pasifika and Maori at the top. But David Seymour saying, but you're not saying anything about Indians and Asians. So where are they? So there's that. But there's also the problem of not, why is this a problem? So, your thoughts, boys?
Shit, where do we start off with? First of all, I don't think they should prioritize it like that.
No.
It should be the worst, and whoever's in the worst condition should be the first priority.
Yeah.
Not by the color of your skin. That's just stupid. That has to be stupid. To my, just to my what I'm thinking about it. Yeah, it's stupid.
I think it's a solution to a problem.
But it's not.
I believe it's a problem, but I don't think this is the solution.
No.
Yeah, I think when I first initially heard it, to be honest, I felt that's a good thing. It's a good thing for us. And I understand Eric's thing, but the way a surgeon looks at it, right? And this can be anyone, just like for myself, if I'm on the machine that I run, my KPI is what's gonna get us the extras later. So if you're a surgeon, your KPI wants to be high because you want all the ones, you want to be able to handpick what you work on. To get to a certain point, the surgery list, right? And you see it on Short and Street as well. The guy who gets all the stink jobs, and they might be he's just getting just an X-ray compared to an actual deep surgeon, The KPI and the recovery wants to look better, right? But if you got the Pacificas he's coming in for a triple bypass, but then this he's obese, he's got high blood pressure and he's got diabetes, his KPI will look a lot different if they don't recover from the surgery. So for us to have that on the card, it's almost like a double-edged sword. It's like we get the surgery, but do we survive? Is our lifespan longer if we get the surgery? But there's nothing in the communities to prevent us to getting to that point. You know what I mean? It's hard to understand, if you're like, oh yeah, it shouldn't matter on the color of our skin, right? But if we go into an A&E, yeah, sweet, that's out the door. But when it gets to the surgery, okay, this guy needs his limb, amputate his leg or save his leg. It's when you're at that stage, the surgeon needs to measure it. Yeah, so the age goes out because it's not really on moral, right? If this person doesn't want to go under anesthetic and he's morally said, look, nah, I don't want to, don't do the surgery on me if you're gonna inject me with drugs. It's almost like that. But the surgeons, now that the ethnicity comes in to play, it's sort of like a good thing. It is a good thing because it goes to show if you're too high risk at too many things, the surgeon doesn't want to touch you. Yeah, that's always been the case.
Yeah, because that's that's a good point because my auntie's in the same position. Yeah. She has to lose her weight before she actually gets surgery.
Oh, that's what they do now, eh?
And sadly, the Caucasian will go in there. Okay, so what are we getting? Oh, just got a jimping. It'll just be his appendix.
Yeah,
he's fine.
He's fine because
he's gonna tick off all of that. And that surgeon's KPI is going to be oh, fuck, he's sitting at 99 stars, man. Fuck, he's the man.
Yeah.
Whereas, the second that ethnicity card is not there, that's the way the surgeons are looking at just the figures, the way it looks.
Yeah, they do the surgery, and then that person dies anyway.
Yeah, and sadly, they've had surgeons interviewed off camera and saying, how they like it and then how they don't like it. And that's pretty much what it's reflecting, eh?
That's a good point.
Because they say they want to fit all these surgeries in, but when they look at the list, how many of them can they do safely? But then it goes back to, but we don't have the infrastructure to do it because there's not enough people in the field to do it, or there's not enough this. That's why people decide, they want to get their stomach, stitched up. Oh, sweet, they'll go do it offshore because they don't have the surgeons here to do those sort of things. But see, that's the thing that the surgeons want to do. They just want to do particular things. But to do their particular things, the KPIs got to reflect that they can do those things.
Yeah, the stomach surgeries are all going.
Yeah, or
Most
so-
Kiwis are going to Thailand.
that's exactly it. So they're all leaving, right? So then, what are the other cool surgery things that they can do? Because not all you can't say not all surgeons want to just do heart surgery. Okay, if you're a cardiac surgeon, then you just want to do hearts. But what if there's too many heart surgeons and they want to break the team up? They want to do like kidney transplants and stuff like that. They want to, I feel that they want the way the media is blowing it up is not the way it's sort of reflecting that how the surgeons are actually doing it.
They're just seeing it from.
And we're seeing it as in, that's not right. It shouldn't matter. But at the end of the day, when the surgeon's got the list of the theatre list and he's gonna start picking someone high blood pressure,
overweight.
his needs his limb amputated, he'll go back down to listen to why has he got the high blood pressure and why has he got all of that. Next to the Balangi guy,
Who's got
appendix.
probably the same thing, eh?
Fuck, is the no brainer? I'll take the appendix.
Yeah.
Because then his KPI is gonna look good, and then does the Balangi guy have the support to do it? Yeah, he probably has family. They can put him in a nursing home. The island guy's gonna go home to his struggling partner now that this guy's not working, and then everyone else it's gonna fall on everyone else. That's heaps of stuff that they take in consideration. But the ethnicity card is a good move for us, but it's not gonna fix the problem. It's not gonna fix it. It's just only just scratching the surface.
Do you think that there will be less surgeons then wanting to do something like
Bro,
that?
there'll be more surgeons leaving the place after
Yeah.
seeing that.
Because they'll be bad for their.
That's just like,
Basically,
because
CV.
pretty much your hands are tied, eh? Because once
Yeah.
that's on the list, it's like, oh fuck. You watch like how many guys are going to be jumping at everything now. It's almost like a race to sort of, okay, I'll do this. It's only going to be temporary until something bigger and better comes up, you know.
And then they'll make the switch.
So you're saying because as Pasifika we've got the same problem, so obesity, diabetes, we're liable to die from these things all the time. Like the stats are high.
Our stats are high. Yeah, our stats are high, but it's
So-
like compared to Indian, Chinese, Balangi,
Yeah, we
we win.
suck.
It's just landslide. We win.
So when it comes to surgeries, they don't want to touch it.
They don't want
because
to touch it.
It's a waste of
'cause,
time.
Yeah, because what's like our recovery rate in our lifespan is not as long as this, and it's proven. And that's but it's not old news. It's like that is the fact. That is the case.
Yeah, because I've
So
seen
that brings to another issue. Then we should tackle the problem from the ground, from like you said, like avoid stopping when it gets to those stages.
Yeah.
Stopping from the diabetes stage to the high blood pressure stage. Eh?
Yeah. When there's the stage generation. It's in your genes, like almost. But they could there's medicine that could prevent all of that. Like you could have that chromosome removed or that gene before you fully developed. But I felt it was like when I first heard it was like that's just a ploy for the surgeons to fight over what surgeries they want. It's not so much that it might be a slight win for us. They know.
But in the long run, it's not.
In the long
yeah,
run, it's not.
It's not going to help us
It's,
any better.
it's like
fuck, man.
it's shitting us. To be fair, it's shitting on us.
Fuck.
Because I had thoughts about when I had my surgery, like when I had major surgery. The first time I thought about, okay, so I'm someone. Did I get put back on the list, or did I? But no, I just went through the system and was bang, bang, bang. So thoughts of me not getting the treatment what I'm meant to get, like if I felt any kind of discrimination because I was someone like, now we're not gonna do you next, or blah blah blah. That never happened. It was just straight come back to New Zealand, sick, hospital, 2 weeks later, surgery, and did the whole rehab thing. So I never felt any. Oh, the system works.
But yeah, that's a good story though.
Yeah.
But it's just the way they talk about the systematic racism inside the DHBs and stuff. It is real, man. Because I've heard people talk about it with their status inside the health sector. Then I've heard people talk about how they got the jobs. The trade-off to get the job or the hours that they wanted. But like an example, when I break my arm, and it's the acute surgeons list. So that list there, I remember being in there with Chinese, Indian, and like maybe 2 Palangis, and I was the only islander there. I swear to God, man, that acute list. I had broken my thumb. I had to get the surgery. I needed it ASAP. And the only way you could sort of like carry me to the end of the week is I had to have a cast. So I needed a plaster cast. If I hadn't taken my shirt off, this is real, man. If I hadn't taken my shirt off and the guy didn't see my sleeve, he wouldn't have turned around. I was asking this lady, I go, how long you been here? She goes, I've been here, this is the 2nd day now. Oh yeah, it's just my daughter, she just needs her wrist is broken. Another guy had what did he have? I think he had something wrong with his back. But, you know, he wanted to see if it was worse. So they said, I'll just go to the North Shore, they'll see you. The surgeon who walked past me, he said, has anyone seen you else? And I go, oh, I've been here 6 hours. Oh. And he goes, oh, come through. And that was him just stopping just to ask. But if I had left my shirt, I probably would have just carried on walking. But it shows, you know, it does happen. So he was explaining to me like, oh, okay, you need a back slab, so we've got to cast your whole hand. I'll see what nurses are available. There was no nurses. No one was interested in my broken thumb. It was like all those people that were waiting, they had been there for almost 3 days, still waiting. Like, but that's real, you know?
Yeah.
This guy ended up saying, no, fuck, you know what? I'll put you in the cast. I'm not the prettiest plaster. Fucking, he did it anyway, but it's in the position it needs to be. Just hopefully I can write, you know. And then he goes, oh, what do you do for a job? I explained it to him. He ended up saying, oh, I'll try and fast track this. Because if anything, if you get full, you know, if you go for your next surgery, you end up waiting like them.
That's the thing, eh? The waiting list for surgeries is like 10 times longer, bro. When I took baby because I first tried to take her to the Avondale medical care, man, I got there in the afternoon and they said a 5-hour wait. And I looked around, there wasn't that many people there, but I was thinking, shit, probably just one doctor doing the whole lot.
Yeah.
So we went to the A&E on Lincoln Road again that afternoon, but it was just as bad. It was everywhere. It was 4 to 5 hours. So I thought, okay, I will come back later. I was thinking coming back at 6, but when I looked at my daughter's progress, it looked good. And then she got worse later on. Obviously, we had to go. But man, it's just those waiting times. And all those kids and people in the waiting rooms just looking at, man.
That White Cross in Lincoln, like, I remember when I had gout and I needed those pills ASAP, you know, and we're going there, $100 fee.
Yeah.
Like in the weekend, you know.
But see, just listen to those 2 stories, right? This is why, and this is legit. This is why Pasifika men don't want to go to the fucking doctors, man. Because they know they're going to go there, they're going to be judged, they're going to be fucking waiting for ages. It's almost like we have to wait to the point where we almost die, and then the surgeon gives a fuck. Or the doctors actually care.
There was one time where I took my daughter because we were at the movies. I don't know what she had, but we took her from the movies, right? And we were basically running to the A&E. We were like, I was passing red lights going 100 on the main road. We got to the A&E up on Lincoln Road. I said, someone needs to see my daughter. The nurse had one look at her because her eyes were rolling backwards. I don't know what she's doing. And she goes, oh shit, take her down the back. We'll get her connected and see what happens. They got her out the back. And then this guy came in, this nurse. He goes, oh, she could be overreacting. Fuck. My levels went from 0 straight to a fucking 100, bro. It was this white guy, eh? And I was just like, bro. And I said to him straight, you need to get out. Bro, get that guy out of here. And my brother just looked at me and goes, oh, come on, bro. Let's go outside. I was like, man.
Maybe what the government needs to do is this is half the solution, eh? Like maybe give more points to surgeons who actually do the procedures. These procedures that we need.
You need to change something like that.
Because it's like, you know, if you get a list of your own personal jobs, like your own jobs that you do, right? And you do the stuff that you like to do, you enjoy. Hey, they're exactly the same, man. Like, just chucking that on there is going to make them either not want to do it or, like, run from it.
Yeah, because they don't want to do something and then it goes wrong.
Yeah, or, like, you know, that's going to make their, like, track record look not as great.
And they're not going to feel great about it either.
Yeah. So it gets to show you all these pin pushers.
Do you remember that doctor we met years ago in the bar?
When was it?
This was years ago. I remember we met this doctor. He was in April bar.
Yeah.
And he lost a child on the operating table.
Uh-huh.
And he was drunk as shit. See, I mean, this, shit like that.
Mm.
He was drunk as shit that night because he said he just lost a patient. And I was, and he said it was a kid. So I'm here, I'm going to get wasted, and then I'm going to go home and sleep. I was like, okay, then, bro, sweet. He brought him a shot. I was like, man, I was busting out at that. I was like, man, it must be, like, the stress levels must be over the moon.
For any surgeons out there listening, man, just do your job, man. Just, save lives.
Yeah, man. If that was if you intended to chase the dollar bill,
Yeah, and you wanted
New
to
Zealand
be
was
there.
never the place to do it, man. But I mean, if you wanted to challenge yourself and make a difference, well, fucking step up to the plate, man.
Man, they'd be like those, I don't want to be sad, but they'd be like those Indian wannabe doctors, bro. Fuck, they suck. They act like they don't give a shit. And most people know what I'm talking about too. Bro, they're just there just to get the money. And nothing else matters.
Not the ones that are like big and tell you to have a diet.
I don't. My family doctor, she's Indian, but she's like my third mum. She's always bust my balls if she knows there's something's wrong. Then she'll tell me straight, and I respect that. I don't give a damn. It's like, okay then, mum. She works up on Pottery. Yeah, she's cool, man. Her old man was my doctor. But just there's those other doctors, bro. They don't just look at you and go, another big guy. Another overweight guy.
So, boys, okay, another news, the big one, actually, all over the world, the submarine, or they don't call it submarine, they call it a, what do you call it? It's not a submarine, because it's...
A submersible.
Submersible, yeah.
No.
Submerge.
Submersible.
But what was it? Was it a tour?
Nah, so apparently there's this company, right, that does tours down to the Titanic, and it, I think costs $400,000 per person.
Yeah,
So
these millionaires or billionaires.
So these millions, and it's sad, man, because they all died. I think how many? I don't know, 5 of them maybe, but one was the son and father, right? 19-year-old. So I think these guys are billionaires, and for adventure, I think they're into this sort of thing. There's a place where they can go and pay $400,000 to go in. Mind you, that guy had to pay $800,000 for him and the son to go in the submerged submarine thing to go under and see the Titanic. Well, they went as far as close to it, and then they lost contact with the radar, and they think that it imploded. So obviously, when you're down that deep in the ocean, the pressure outside is stronger than the pressure inside. So everything's like trying to squeeze, and it imploded the whole submarine thing, and they all died apparently. And they had a rescue mission. They went down, and the radar showed all this debris at the bottom of the ocean, close to the.
So what if it just this disappeared? They just blew up.
Yeah, just blew up.
It just would have sucked in itself.
Yeah,
That's bad.
But the other thing was they had 45 hours or something of air, oxygen. 45 hours or something. So they had the clocks running to try to see what they were, and that was ticking away live on social media. So you could actually see the time ticking, how much oxygen they got. That's sad, eh?
Fuck, that's...
Like in real time, you can actually check it out. But it was, I think on Friday, they only had 9 hours left. That's when I looked it up at 12:30 in the afternoon. They only had 9 hours left. But the thing was, it takes like maybe 7 hours to actually go up from where they were.
Damn.
So even if they found them, and the air would have ran out anyway.
That's how deep they were.
Yeah, it's pretty deep.
Or was that would have been because the weight distribution and the motors on the carrier?
Yeah. think it was 2 hours deep. 2 hours deep or something like that.
Yeah, because they have to do something before they come up. They
Like
can't just pop out.
depressurize it.
Yeah, they can't just pop out of the sunburn.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, so it's a sad story. But the reason why I put up this post and the Empty Out the Clip podcast Facebook page, group page, was because of, man, social media can be cruel, man, because they made up this hashtag with the hashtag OceanGate, which is the name of the company that runs this tour. And everybody around the world is just blasting these guys, these rich guys. You know, why are we feeling sorry for them when these, you know, for instance, someone posted a picture of the submarine saying 5 rich missing men, multi-million-dollar rescue operation. Then there's a picture next to it saying 750 missing migrants, you know, on the boat. And you want to tighten the borders, you want to close the borders, you know. So things like that. Like there's other things like there's one with a picture of a killer whale, and talking to a reporter saying we don't know shit about the missing submarine. You've got The Simpsons. So someone bring up The Simpsons said they predicted this when they had an episode where the submarine went down with 5 millionaires in the submarine, and there's a sign saying the Titanic is a grave, not a playground for you. So that sort of thing. So, and people are saying, man, that's heartless. People are saying that, you know, because they're human beings, even though they're millionaires and they can afford to do it. They're human beings, but then you can understand because, you know, a lot of people get killed in the waters, you know.
Especially taking a risk like that. There's a high risk factor.
Yeah, right. But that's no
right there.
respect for the living entity. That act, I feel like they shouldn't have gone down.
That's like climbing Mount Everest. You know, people do it,
But in such a
there's a
small
risk.
sort of like the vehicle to take them down there, like like the Titanic's huge. Like, wouldn't you expect them to go into something bigger?
Well, an actual submarine.
But they actually showed the actual submarine before they went down, so it's only a small thing,
Yeah, it's not very big.
and you can't even stand up. You gotta lie down, and they've got one window, right, and it's where the toilet is. You know, you can't even, like, if you need to go, you're sitting down in front of everybody. You know, you can't even. It's not like a real toilet; it's just a hole in the ground. You know. But the window's right there. So it's like, here's the toilet. You got the best seat in the house. But where you sit, like you got like, it's like a curve, right? It's round. So you're lying down. You got 2 TVs on the other side where you can see the outside, right? And you got a big screen in front of you. And you got a remote control, like a PlayStation remote control, where you can control where the thing moves. So you're pretty much looking at a TV screen anyway. You know? It's like, what, you paid $400,000 to go down there and look at the TV screen? Why can't you just look at the TV screen up top on the
Actual
boat?
ship.
up top. You know, send the machine down and like, it's not like you're gonna look outside. It's dark. You know.
That would have been a better way of doing it. They could even do it from their own home.
But it's sad. It's sad they died. But you know, these are millionaires that can afford this stuff. But you know what? It's like, for me, like, yeah, just because you can afford to do something like that doesn't mean it's a good idea. You know.
It's a high risk factor for that shit.
And maybe if you are a millionaire, you know, you can afford to do all this crazy stuff. But I don't think you think of dying. Hey, you don't think of dying. You just think of it's an adventure. You know?
Yeah, creating new memories.
But another sad thing to come out on social media. Apparently, the 19-year-old didn't want to go.
Oh.
The son didn't want to go. He was like, he wasn't sure.
Fuck. I don't know if that's any better or bad.
I don't know.
Bad.
What do you guys make of it?
I would, if I had $1 million. Honestly, if I had $1 million or millions, I wouldn't go. I'm not that type of person. That's just me. I mean, if I was wanting to, seek adventure,
How much did they spend on that?
It's $400,000
Each.
a person. Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of meat pies, man.
That's a lot of yeah.
But why there's a lot of meat pies to be watching on TV screen? It's like going to a booze game and watching the TV screen. not watching the game.
He's just had an idea where that company could just do that instead.
Yeah.
Send submarine drones down for customers that can actually use like a video hooked up kind of thing.
Like a virtual reality almost through
Yeah.
the lens of the...
Through the lens of the drones, of
Yeah.
the submarine drones.
That,
They actually go down there. That'll probably be more fun
because
than
they would
actually
have
going
not
down.
have even been able to just go and touch anything, because it's through a glass. It's stupid, mate. Folks, that's the best way to waste $400,000.
What's that song that comes on? That Dumb Ways to
Dumb
Die?
ways to die. Dumb ways to die. Right there, bro. Takes the cake, man.
$400,000 will probably be enough to make a project like that.
But bro, what's wrong with watching Titanic the movie, man? Just watch that. That's enough, isn't it?
Well, they've saved Titanic, the actual shipwreck, as like a 3D. It's mapped out now, so it's completely mapped out. They have it in the cloud or something.
Oh, and you can actually go see a virtual,
Like a virtual thing of it now, because
what's wrong with that?
it's getting it's
Yeah.
starting to corrode and get crushed by the water pressure. So it's going to disappear in the next probably 30 or 40 years.
I get it though. You're adventurous and you got a lot of money. It's like saying, okay, I want to go see outer space. Can I be an astronaut? How much to be an astronaut? But not thinking that there's dangers in that.
Yeah, I got a mate at work, and this is and his idea of a holiday is to go. So he went to Antarctica, one of his holiday trips. Him and his wife. So they actually had a training program before they went. So they went out to Antarctica, checked out the penguins and stuff. And man, I was like, what the hell? His last trip before that, he went to the safari, and they had a training program for that as well before they went out. And he had to hang out with these villagers and this with lions and shit. There was lions and shit, and they were camping there. So they couldn't go out without any of these tribes people with them, because the fucking predators would be waiting inside the bushes and that. The lions or jaguars or cheetahs. So I asked him, why do you do stuff like that? He goes, I want to create more, I don't want to go to somewhere, I don't want to go to New York like everybody else who want to buy shoes or eat the meanest pies or something. I don't want to go to Australia where it's just going to be the same sort of thing.
It's having to put a different story,
Yeah.
an experience. Yeah.
An experience. Because I want to have a journey to my experience.
And then that's something that these guys couldn't even come back and say or tell now, because, hey, it's too late.
Yeah, because he did say to me there is a risk factor, and because he understands it, but he makes sure it's not too far out of his reach.
Still, man, what a safari.
Crazy.
Like the safari, for me, would have to be like 1 billion stages of what's it called? The Wolverine steel around me. Just with a little window like this. Way to go. That's close enough for me, mate.
I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy to do risky things, man. Like, if there's something out of my control and I could die, if there's a malfunction or whatever, I don't care what it is. Like, I ain't doing it, man. I ain't doing it. I ain't gonna do parachuting, man. I got no control of that if my parachute doesn't work.
Man, I know. I definitely know I'm not made for parachuting, bro. I'll fall like a rock. Fuck that
I know the
shit.
feeling, man. Shucks.
I'll probably have the meanest rush, but man, I don't think I'll survive it.
Man, I always think, like, sometimes, man, the riskiest thing I would ever do is jump on an airplane.
Yeah.
That's probably the most riskiest thing I ever do.
I mean, we drive every day. Like, we literally jump in a car and drive every day, man.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, if your car is old enough, it doesn't have an airbag. Sorry. You're kidding me, mate. Doesn't even have a seatbelt. Shucks.
But at least we can catch an Uber if we're drunk. Don't drink and drive, man. Folks out there.
I don't...
But no, man, it's been that week, man. That's been on every news. Everybody's around the world's fascinated about this submarine, man.
Yeah, I was quite taken when I first saw it. I was like, oh, shit.
Man, if you're an Auckland Blue supporter and New South Wales, with all that news that's happening in the international, it's not a good week, mate. It's just too many things happening.
Well, it wasn't enough to drown the loss of
The Blues.
the Blues and then the New South Wales, because, man, I don't know, it just gets piling worse. It comes to worse. I don't know what the decision was moving Damien Cook to centre was, man, but that failed. When we got some perfectly better guys to fill that gap, we had Cameron Murray on the in the bench, we had bloody Matt Britton in reserves. Can't understand. We deserve to lose. Fuck. After that.
That's the end of the coaches, you reckon?
Yeah, man.
What about respect-wise as a coach? Freddie doesn't deserve any accolades or acknowledgement for none now.
He looked, it was too erratic, man. He looked too erratic with his selections, and then he's, like Simon said, man, panic stations, man. You didn't have to hear it from Freddie. You could just look at what he did. You know, that's what I thought. But you know what? The Auckland Blues loss was the worst one for me. So when it came to the New South Wales last one, yeah, whatever. Yeah, just fuck, who cares? Come back next year. But it just shows, man, how we're beaten by a younger team, man. And credit to Billy Slater for putting those young guys on, man. Having the balls to say to then gay guys, sit down, now your time is over. The balls to say to Kalen Ponga, nah, it's Walsh, bro. It's Walsh.
But I think what's come out of that nurturing the next wave of guys is that it's not completely set in stone. You know what I mean? Because Ponga could come back anytime. If Reece got, it's just about seasoning them, man. Just giving them a taste of it. Because even if he left Walsh out of this one and he got Ponga to play, it'd still be the same. It's still, like, I feel like, bro, they still got that dynamic that can chop and change guys. They can still bring Kofusi into the mix, drop one of these other second roles, you know?
Yeah, they're building up the bench, eh?
Yeah, because, like, Daly Joe Evans never really got a shot. He always sat behind Thurston. Like, to be fair, and Kronk, he always sat behind them. So when he got his opportunity, it's like, bro, he's already part of the team, man, like, you know? And that's what made that win a lot more sweet, because, bro, it's not like they just picked the guys like, I don't know what Brett Phillip was trying to do with his team list, man. It's like, how do you go and pick out Nico Hines and didn't even play him? You weren't even going to play these guys. It's like, that's ridiculous, man. But yeah, Freddie, just give it up, mate.
Yeah,
Just
give it up, mate.
cut it, mate. Cut it. Just don't even try anymore.
Did you watch the Super Rugby final?
I actually fell asleep, man. But, yeah. But that team, mate, we caught it last week, eh? If that's the way they won their final, bro, your new team is going to beat them.
I gotta give credit to Chiefs, man. They did a good job, like, doing better than the Blues. Way better than the Blues. But, man, some of those calls, man, like, there was a blatant forward pass that did a no call. That Ben O'Keefe, you know, and looked like, you know, you can feel for the Chiefs fans, because they sort of said, the ref got the Crusaders jersey underneath, because he was calling it like it was. But then I was jumping on social media, and because apparently I didn't watch the end, because as soon as the full-time whistle blew, I just turned it off, because I couldn't stand to see Crusaders celebrate, and I couldn't stand to see Robertson do the breakdowns. Fuck that shit. So I turned it off straight away. Didn't want to see any of that shit. So I turned it off. But then when I saw on social media, there were Crusaders fans saying, how disgusting of the fans booing when the ref came up to get his acknowledgement. And they were saying that on social media. And people were saying, well, what do you expect? That's not their home. That's the fan. Yo, fuck you. Fuck. Shut up. Just shut up. That's what fans do, man. Fuck. Hey, if you come to a hostile crowd like that and you win, well, you put it in their face. You won. And they're gonna put it in your face too. Like, get the fuck out of here with your trophy. We don't care. But you know, you can't just say how disgusting was that. How, you know, what do you expect, man?
Yeah,
These are Chiefs fans,
bro. That's just like someone letting you, like, you just won a world championship, right? And then all of a sudden you want to go, woohoo, that's shame, man. They can hear you. They fuck up. Just shut the fuck up and go fucking uppercut yourself, man. Man, the people express and experience it, man.
Yeah, man. And you know, I never liked that sort of thing, man, because it doesn't encourage sports culture. And man, I love American sports culture, man. I wish I was here in New Zealand, and that you can't do it if you got that kind of attitude, man. But that was the Super Rugby final. Okay, boys, the other thing in the news. So, Filippo put up a post of a dispute between a homeowner and the daughter. So, the daughter's mother passed away, and then is it her will? She said that the house to be sold and the money to be put in the trust, and for her daughter to get money every week, right? So when you have the but she's given the rights to her friend. Is it a friend or cousin or something or another family
Yeah,
member?
so she's got a trust.
Yeah.
So whoever and so this is why it's important for anyone, man, and everybody. If you ever pass away, right, and you're supposed to be leaving a house or some sort of inheritance for your kids to inherit, make sure you review it every year. So that poor girl's locked. She's living in that house, but in order for the executor, right, which is the person who's gonna do everything that the mum wanted to happen when she passed away. So she obviously would have applied for a probate where you go and get a court to sign off. Okay, you are Cam's acting on behalf of Leti and gonna execute the mum's wishes. But during this process, in this instance, the house needs to be sold for the daughter to inherit something. So if there was 20 grand remaining on that house, and she's trying to sell it, she's obviously want to try and dress up the house and try and get buyers, like potential buyers to come in and buy. But she obviously felt off. The person's obviously felt off knowing that the daughter's still living in the house. Because what are you going to do? Like, kick them out. Like, but because she's been living there with the power off and stuff, like everything's pretty much been shut off. No running water, no power. And yeah, people will try to strip the house. But it's the fact that when she's passed and then left her daughter an inheritance that supposedly is supposed to be done in like with the sale of the house, where was she supposed to go when the daughter died? That's what's sort of like the grey area of the acting like executor of that will, which is, man, it can, people are always gonna say, oh yeah, she needs to get the fuck out. It's like, but where's she gonna go? Her mum died, like where's she supposed to go? Or she's gonna get her money, but she can't get the money until they sell the house. It's just one of those things, right? The saddest part about it is that, like, she's young, and 25 is probably some time away, like 5 to 6 years away. She's only gonna get a lump sum of it, but where's she supposed to go in the meantime? That's what people didn't realize. Like, man, so if you're gonna put a will together, like, make sure, man, your kids are looked and thought. It's actually being thought through, She obviously wouldn't have thought that she was gonna pass away, probably well into her older age. But man, the daughter's now left without a place to go.
Seems like bad management,
Bad management, but I mean, these executors of wills and people that own trusts, this is the nature of their job. They have to execute it, and they have to be fair. But bearing in mind, they gotta take a cut as well.
Did they share that kind of information before?
Yeah, well, because they go to the court and the court signs the probate of like what they're gonna execute in. Like the judge is obviously gonna ask you, okay, so what were the deceased's wishes on this piece of paper? And they would have just said all the proceeds from the sale of purchase of the house instead of leaving the house. You know what I mean? Instead of inheriting the house, because even if you inherit the house, that's a bill. Like, because if it was a freehold, there'd still be money owed on it. But it's up to the executor to sort of explain to everyone, does everyone want to buy the house? Because not everyone's agreed. Not everyone will agree, because some people might be living in the house, but because it's just her, in her case, she was the only one there. So wouldn't you feel like you would want someone to at least advise her on how about going for the ownership of the house? Because they're just using the executor's gonna use the fulfill the wishes and sell the house and give her the inheritance. She can't get it before she's 25, so they'll just pay bit by bit. But you'd think that people would advise her, like, how about you apply for a probate to say that you live in the house and you'll be able to one day apply. Because she could always go and, like, when she got the ownership of the house, try and readjust the mortgage, but then that's a whole nother case by taking on the debt that's not hers. So it's pretty messy, yeah.
You think that's a bad decision for the mum to say put this money in the trust, sell the house, put the money in trust, and give my daughter the money. What's wrong with just giving her the house?
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
That's
what's
what I
wrong with
mean.
just giving her the house?
Wouldn't you just leave her the house?
Like this sounds like a scam, because if you're thinking about the people that have to execute this thing,
yeah.
They have to get their cut.
their
They have
incentive
to get
is
that's the exact
yeah.
incentive is to get paid out the percentage, and then there would be a certain amount, and then they would have so after 400,000 they're entitled to another 2%. So
That's right, and they're probably just smart lawyers, because
they are. That's all they are.
I think this came on Better Call Saul. He did similar thing where he's telling, the lawyer's telling the mum, you know what you should do? You should like a thing called a trust. Fancy word, right? Trust. Put your money in trust, and then sell the house. Put the money in trust, and you can give your daughter the money, the proceeds from that trust every month or whatever it is. In the meantime, our fee is this much. You sell the house, we get the fee. And then it's like too complicated. It's like, oh yeah, that sounds good. It's not as good as why don't I just give my daughter the house?
But I think the scare tactic is if your parents don't have a will, right? The bank, whoever owns the debt, whoever the debt is with, like say the mortgage on the house gets taken into ASB or something, they will then ASB will then want their money.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And in the end, like, if that property doesn't have a purpose on the title of that house, well, then that goes to the state. So everyone messes up because that's not their debt, it's not their property. That estate belongs to the deceased, that they have left it to no one. So the trust would be like sort of like how you'd want to do it, but it would be better just to have someone on the title of the house or just leave it to someone.
Yeah, that would have been probably better for her.
And these processes aren't short either, man. They're like quite grueling, eh? People fall offside. But yeah, man, just educate yourself a little bit, man. Make sure you got a life insurance to cover the remaining balance on your house, man. And just make sure you got the right person ready to inherit it, And don't fucking get someone as a trust or an executor. Do it from outside where they're going to drop feed it. Because in the end, they just want their money. And she has to wait. Just sad, eh?
Another sad story that came out, new post of the uplets, was a girl that has to work to feed her family, help feed her family. She does night shift, but she also goes to school. And she came home from work. She had the exam that day because she was tired and I had things on her mind. She did a mistake where she had a bit of paper with some writing on it, brought into the exam. It got found and she got disqualified or whatever you call it, and she failed. And because of that, she's working at Rainbow's Inn, which is pretty a sad story. But it's been that kind of thing has been around since COVID, because that was the thing with the lockdowns. Schools, like all the kids with poor families, they had to go to work and weren't coming back to school.
Yeah.
So that was a major issue during that time, and this story that came on Q&A, it's just an extension of that. Sad story.
Yeah, I'm divided on it, eh? Like I know, I had to work, but I had to leave work early to go and pursue that and help my parents out, financially. I didn't see a dime. That was just what I did. That was what we did to help the times. But because both my parents weren't working, I think in this instance here, and I full-heartedly believe there's no excuse to send our kids to go and work in this lifetime now. As hard as we say it is, I didn't believe in that model. I think the reason why I think it's bad, that's an example. She missed out on her level 3 because she didn't have the sleep. She obviously neglected the fact that, oh shit, I got these notes and they fell out. That was preventable. Had she had the sleep, they wouldn't have got kicked out of their house. They wouldn't have been, no clothes and no food in the cupboards. That was just them trying to help their parent situation and the family dynamic. It didn't have to be that way, you know what I mean? But when it comes to the kids, man, especially in the year 13 and they're trying to bridge that thing to uni, man, that's the time you need the kids to be able to manage their time properly. Because if they don't manage it properly, like in high school and like towards their back end, they're going to struggle when they get to uni or if they decide to go to uni. The fact that she had to wear that, like go to work, this falls on the parents. And like, I don't believe in this day and age, with some of the wages that we can get paid and how much the housing is costing, like that's not an excuse, man. Because you can always get wind subsidies for like accommodation supplements and stuff like that. That would just be okay. Was it a tithing or was it a lave? That was what would have broken that household's financial situation. And then it comes down to like, well, what's more important, going without and suffering or contributing? Because a lot of people would have to contribute, like in those Pacific families, and you know, wherever she went to school. But no, it shouldn't have been. It should have been peeled back all the way back to the point. Like, look, just go to school. You know, you got an opportunity here. Why would you burden your kids with an extra? You know, fuck, it's a job, man. She legit was doing a full week's work.
Damn.
That's crazy.
I agree with you of the management of time. Because all you gotta do is just go ask the also safutu about any management of time when it comes to our people, you know? Because, you know, dealing with church commitments, you know, family commitments, school, sports, work, you know, helping the family. It's just a way to manage all that.
Yeah, because
But you know, with the story, like I've heard the story so many times, man, with people that even come on back on 105. The story isn't even finished.
Yeah.
The story of her, whatever happened to this student getting kicked out of exam, failing, has to go work at Rainbow's Inn. And then what? There's gonna be more to the story. Like, what is she gonna do to overcome? Man, how many people come back on 105 talk about overcoming
Yeah.
the odds or overcoming like hardship? Like, this is just the beginning of her story. It's not finished.
Yeah.
It's not finished. Like, people have overcome worse or even that or that, you know? This story isn't finished for this girl. And I'm sure because of the work she's putting in of work, helping the family, doing the exams, she's got that resilience to
carry on
and overcome this.
Time will come.
Yeah, time will come. And she wants to be a lawyer.
She'll be it.
I mean, they're saying, oh, she wanted to be a lawyer. And she can still be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Just there's things called setbacks, not like
Yeah,
come back. You know? It's called a setback, not can't come back. So for me, I don't know if the story is told in a way where for people to feel sorry for situations and that we can look to the situations, but
because it's not old.
Yeah.
It's not new. Sorry.
yeah, it's not new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always been there.
And the story isn't over for me anyway. I want to know what's the next chapter of this girl like, and you know I know there is gonna be a next chapter. Yeah, so that's
Because-
yeah.
Because I was brought up in a way where we, no matter what, my parents wouldn't do that to me. That's what they taught me, because they said, nah, you go to school, you concentrate on school. They gave me the opportunity to do that, and they wouldn't do anything like that. They just weren't that kind of parents. They always had everything set, especially my mother. She's very, when it comes to food and shit and like that, and money management. I mean, they're not fully, but they're enough where we'll always have something on the back end. We'll never starve.
Yeah. Like I like that. You made that shit. That point is like, yeah, it's not the end, but it's the time measurement. Like the way I look at it is like, if you're doing 40 hours and you're going to school,
Yeah.
man,
She's already
if you
got it.
can absorb it and carry on working, fuck, uni's gonna be nothing.
Yeah.
Uni will be a
exactly.
breeze. But it's the whole it's the putting that financial pressure on her plate, you know, that she doesn't need.
Yeah.
I just thought like, man, I can't, you know. We're supposed to be part of the generation that would have should have broken that cycle.
Yep.
Like it shouldn't be that's as recent as it is. It shouldn't be like that, because that's like from 2 generations. That's like a generation back.
Yeah,
Shouldn't be like that, you know.
I think that's where my parents are ahead of that because they broke that gap.
Yeah,
Because my mum always said that she didn't want us to,
yeah.
where kids didn't go to work.
Just
That's
let
what
the
she
kids
used to
be
do.
kids, and let them live. Because like once the childhood is gone,
That's
it's
it.
gone.
It's gone.
Once their time's passed, it's passed.
Sure, boys. All right, let's go to the Fia Poko of the week.
Who's the Fia Poko?
Well, I've got this video that Leti put up. So some woman and her partner in crime
The pack is
ran a pack and save with a hockey stick. I just want to say the woman didn't do much of a disguise. She just had nothing. But her partner in crime had a balaclava on over his face. Anyway, they roll up in their car and to the front of the pack and save, and you know when you have to click and collect, where you come and then just open the thing and then you get all your shopping out. Well, they try to open that forcefully with a hockey stick, and they were just seeing the footage of the girl. She's wearing a green t-shirt with pants. She's got bare feet on. She's got a cap and she's got a hockey stick, and she's banging on the click and connect, and it looks like she just hit it once and then just takes off. She runs off, and the guy filming it is in the car parked on the opposite side, just catching everything, right? And even got the license plate number, so DW555. So straight away you got that number. Yep,
It's not a Sydney license plate, is it? Oh, I didn't have pick a CV.
Anyway, what makes this stupid is that they fail trying to open it with a hockey stick. She's running, but the guy's walking, and they jump in the car, and for some reason she goes through the breezeway in the footpath in the front of the
I didn't understand it. Was she trying?
It's like an Austin Powers moment, eh? She's trying to do a 3.59 25 turn.
Was she trying to?
Man.
Was she trying to hit that guy?
She was trying to run him over.
Hey.
That's what I expected.
But that was funny. That was super fast though.
It made me a little bit sad though. I was sad when I was watching. I was like, that's a front runner, man.
Oh my gosh.
So if you guys haven't seen this footage, it's on our Into the Clip Facebook group page. Just go check it out. It's weird. It's the worst ram raid I've ever seen on film.
Oh, oh yeah. I'll talk about it afterwards.
I just saw it and I thought to myself, man, she obviously is not all there, eh?
Nah,
Because I could think, if I was thinking of her thoughts out loud, and the way she would talk, she'd be like, all right then, I'll be back. I'm going to run you over. And he's probably going, go fuck off then, go, what are you going to do? And she turns on her car with the loudest exhaust ever. It's like, damn. And then does that 19-point turn. And then she tries to run him over. Like, well, that was putty, man. That's like...
she reminds me some of the regulars we get at work, especially on the night shift.
Yeah.
I get some people that do weird shit on the forecourt, and that's some of the weird shit I've always seen. It's fucking crack up.
Oh, man. So what she's definitely the what?
She's
Fia
Fia
Poko
Poko of the week.
crack up.
Man, I had a Fia Poko try to. I think he was attempting to break in.
Well,
I was serving a customer at work. This
Oh,
was
the glass?
No, but he was at the door. So I was serving the dude, and because the door's to my left, and I just happened to see this guy standing next to the door, and he had a bit of wire with him, and he was cutting it. I was going, "Oi, what the fuck you doing?" And he just spun around. I go, "Oh, I'm doing nothing." Are you sure? But then I just brushed it off. I go, "Oh, okay, whatever." And then he came up to the counter and he was buying stuff, and then because I was still processing what was happening at the door, I was going, "Fuck, I think this guy was trying to break in." But man, it was just fucking weird. It happened so quickly because there were so many people that I had to get through, and then that guy was just at the door doing some shit. But because I said, "Hey, what the fuck you doing?" He just went, "Oh fuck."
One day I got an annual leave and you're working. I might just come and dress up in black with a baton and just be like,
Man,
wait for guys, and then you just give me the wink. That guy.
No, I'll open the door, let you in, and you just hang around, have a coffee or something, or pie. Someone comes at the door, then you just sleep out.
Sure, bro. Because I'll be like, are you the guy who came down with the wire? Aye.
I'll turn the cameras off, mate. We'll have some fun.
Straight up, man.
Okay, shit. Some of those guys are getting crazy.
I just want to bring up this thing that Filippo put on the page. Elon Musk and Zuckerberg.
So that's the guy who owned the Facebook and the only guy who owns Tesla. Eh?
Yeah, Tesla and Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
So apparently, word on social media is that these guys are gonna have a punch up, a fight, proper. It's a boxing match, is it?
Yeah, it looks like a boxing match or MMA fight.
Are they legit?
Dana White's gonna organize it or something.
Yeah, there was something a little bit on that. I think it's just a rumor going on. To me, honestly,
Yeah.
I think it's just a full-on rumor.
It's not a joint forces sort of thing.
I don't know. It might start out as a rumor, but it look like it's gaining some momentum.
Yeah, two nerds having a punch up. Who you gonna pick? I'll pick Elon. I think
Yeah,
he's
same.
gonna win.
How
How about you guys?
Elon.
Nah.
What you want
missed
the
Facebook?
the Facebook
man.
guy?
The Facebook guy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you know he's not gonna go and develop some AI in his gloves?
Hey, that's
Hey,
Elon.
like do the whoosh, and then with a little needle to the eye.
Elon will use his battery.
Well, you know, there was a joke about him. There's a joke about them fighting in the metaverse, and that would be. I'll get my money back if that happened. I'll take my money back.
No, if it was an actual real fight, bro.
What if it was
cool.
like staged like 3D, like they had the sensors on their hands and their legs and then on their face and stuff, and then you watched it like on a big screen, like actual Street Fighter, and they had the music and it was 3D. Round 2, fight, and like
Every punch
they're
takes a
just
health
fighting
bar.
each other, but by across from each other. They're not really, and it's like you know,
Fuck, that'd be funny.
I'd watch that.
Okay, I'm back with another what's in the lyrics. So I got a song sung by England Dan and John Ford Coley. It's called "I'd Really Love to See You Tonight." It's a 70s song, 70s jam. And I'm just gonna read you three verses, two verses, and then the last verse is the actual chorus. And just tell me what you guys think about what this is about. Okay. Hello. Yeah, it's been a while. Not much. How about you? I'm not sure why I called. I guess I really just wanted to talk to you. And I was thinking maybe later on we could get together for a while. It's been such a long time, and I really do miss your smile. I'm not talking about moving in, and I don't want to change your life. But there's a warm wind blowing the stars around, and I'd really love to see you tonight. First false voice.
Well, by my laughter, you should know what I'm thinking.
There's a tad bit of gap.
Well, you know, it's,
But can I
Yeah,
ask,
that's a cool
were you
song.
driving home from work when you had this song?
It is a
Hey.
type of gap, but it's the way the lyrics say it.
see, to me, this song is about like meeting up with an ex-girlfriend somewhere.
Oh.
in
Yeah,
your life,
yeah,
and
man. Hard
You're
on.
just reminiscing about back in the days with the ex-girlfriend, and you know, you got a chance to catch up, right? And you're telling her, you know, how are you and how's it been? Shall we have a catch up? You know, but it's funny because in the chorus it says, "I'm not talking about moving in." You know, he's trying to say, "Hey, man, we can catch up," but hey, I'm not telling you. You know, this. I'm not going all in here. You know,
It's a good movie, man.
I just want to, you know, I don't want to change your life. You know,
Yeah.
we just still carry on with our own lives. You know, and the last line is, "And I really love to see you tonight." You know,
When I heard that line, I don't want to change your life. I do straight
You know
away.
what? You know what's funny is like this song came up and you read that line and Avi's not here tonight.
Oh,
what happened?
right. That guy would have loved this shit to the death. He will probably use that same line too.
He probably got sucked in for not showing up tonight with one of those lines.
but I won't play. I won't play the song, but I'll play it after. But if you guys look up on Spotify, a song called "I'd Really Love to See You Tonight" by England Dan and John Ford Coley, you'll recognize the song. It's an old school song in the 70s.
Bro, I'm putting that on my playlist, man.
But
Straight
just the story of it, hey, like
up. Fuck, that's bad.
it's like the situation, hey.
Yeah.
Like,
I always see Cam
That's
Sports videos
bad.
like sitting at the lights and he goes, ooh, that's pretty fucking.
Yeah, I didn't click it. I didn't click until we just sat here quietly listening to the song and then, oh shit, this guy's got balls.
He's Subtle, he's really subtle with his approach.
From the 70s, eh? From the 70s.
Yo, wait, what's up?
It's a pretty mean song too.
Yeah, hard, bro. It's a mean song. This guy's back in the days, eh? No wonder.
All right, what are we watching?
I've been watching The Preacher. I think you remember that. That was back. It's about a guy who wants to go back to his hometown for his dad. He made a promise to his dad, so his dad's a preacher. So he made a promise to the father to come back home and he'll be a preacher. So it's basically that's what happens, but it's met with some supernatural elements where the so-called, I think it's called Genesis, comes and gets into the preacher. And then he becomes like this kind of like godly, anything he says, you got to do it kind of thing. So that's how all the drama starts with that show. But yeah,
it's a vampire made it.
yeah. So I've been wanting to watch this for ages. So I've just finally found it on TV on NZ Demand.
Yeah.
So I finished the first season in the weekend.
Oh, for the season.
There's 4 seasons.
Shit.
So I finished the first season in the weekend and I'm on the second one already. I also watched the new Star Trek Home Voyage. That's pretty good. That's they're starting out with this season. Finished off Manifest from Netflix.
What's that one about?
It's about a flight that goes missing. They go missing, but to them it was just like a couple of seconds.
Oh, yeah.
But to everybody else, they go missing for like 3 years.
Sure.
So they call them the Flight 828. So they're the 828ers. So they're all connected in a supernatural way, and apparently something to do with I think with God or it's a biblical kind of attachments to the storyline as well. So there's a bit of that in there. I found it interesting, eh? So I kept on watching it, and I think it's been like a year and a bit, but the season finished. So it's completely finished, and me and my daughter watched the last episode because she's seen a bit and pieces here and there, and we were like really, really happy with the ending. So man, I was buzzing. So that's cool. I also checked out the new Transformers movie, which is surprisingly good. Yeah, it's really, really good.
Is it Michael Bay? Is he doing it?
He's part producer of it, so his name turns up. Same as Steven Spielberg, he's in there as well. But they're only part producers. They're not actually the directors of this movie. You can tell too when, I don't know if you've seen some of the early stuff of Transformers when they transform.
Yeah.
And you got all that junk that's going around with all the little bolts and shit moving around. They kind of simplified that in this movie, so it's not too much daunting on the eyes.
Yeah.
So that's cool, straight off the bat. The origin, I reckon, is pretty mean. So
Because the best is really as you said, like in the cartoons, fucking must be good.
yeah, so some of the characters that were in the actual Transformers movie, how they looked at that was almost exactly the same as.
Fuck, it must be mean.
But the soundtrack, because it's in the 90s, so straight off the bat, the first scene, they hit it off with Wu-Tang. Oh shit, I forgot the name of the track. But once you hear it, you'll know straight away and you'll start singing it. Because it was like me and some other guys, and I knew they were all from the 90s. And we were just busting out. While watching the movie, all the youngsters are going, what's this track? So yeah, there was a few good, but then there's some parts of the scenes where the soundtrack was oversaturating the scene completely, and I thought that they should have cut back on it, but some of it was appropriate, especially in the beginning scene, where you just hit it with the Wu-Tang. I was like, oh, damn, that's bad. So, yeah, CGI's mean, fucking storyline's pretty bad, and, yeah, no spoilers, but there's a surprise at the end, so it's pretty cool.
Wow, you've been busy, lah.
Oh, bro, I've been a movie freak hard lately.
Hard. Me and Kez were just talking about, man, imagine we got paid just to watch movies and give reviews. It'd be the life. That's the life.
Hey, yeah,
It's the
true,
life.
true. Yeah, no. So, yeah, what's next week is... I think it's next week or after
No, Thursday. This coming Thursday is
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm going to miss that. I'll watch it when I come back. Yeah.
Have you? That's why you were watching.
Man, fuck, I watched Ray Donovan season 5.
Oh,
Fucking
damn.
good, bro, fucking good. So, yeah, spoiler alert, man. So, in season 4, he finished off, because he went to war with the Irish Mafia. and he was trying to get one of his close men back. In season 5, he parts way with the accomplice, because But man, this whole season is around his wife, and like his wife died of cancer. She was on a short list to make this new research surgery that they were doing. She didn't get picked. Ray goes back to Avi and says, "Fuck, I need something to get her on the list." And he's like, just this is over breakfast, and he says something like, "I know a nurse," because he's Colombian, eh? "I know a nurse. You can get a little, just to complicate so Abby can go up on the list." So he gets a freaking meningitis in a vial, and then gives it to him to go and inject this kid, because there was like 3 people on this list to infect, because there was 3 of them on the list. He then does the look through the curtain. Oh yeah, it's a lady and her 2 kids. Sees another lady and it's just him. Then looks at an old guy. Then he goes, "Fuck, I'll go after the kid." So he went and did that before he got the vial. So when he gets the vial, he's waiting. He's waiting for Avi to meet up with him, but Avi doesn't show up. Then he's like, "Fucking, where is this dude?" So in season 4, when he's getting beaten up, he then goes to gets hooked on the drugs, like just rehab medication. Before you know it, bro, he's hooked while he's in, waiting for Ray to show up. Ray ends up going to do the job himself, so he goes and picks up the vials. But fuck, he ends up getting a mean hiding. Hey, what? He's going to get the vial. Fuck, he goes to the hospital because he's already scoped it out, and he went back and he injected his the patient. His wife then gets the call to be on the list, but she decides to not go through with the surgery. The daughter finds out what her dad does, and sees these papers fall out, and then she clicks, "Oh fuck, that's the guy who was in a bar that mum and dad just bought, and he was on that surgery list." Bro, the way it unfolds, fucking gangster, man. Because he purposely did it so his wife would get the treatment, but his wife doesn't want the treatment. She then dies. Ray's brother and his daughter were the ones that were there when she did the euthanasia on herself. But then when she dies, the daughter doesn't want to talk to Ray, and he's like, "What the fuck," But when he finds out it was his brother that helped go get the drugs, he's like, "Fucking he knew." Because when he was away going to get the meningitis, she was opening up her bar, and the daughter and that were there. But Ray wasn't there for the opening because he was off doing this. In the end, they bump into the son bumps into the people who had the surgeries, because they said, "Oh, how was the surgery?" He's like, "I didn't get it in the end." Because it was for his wife. Then they realized she made a full recovery, but the wife didn't want to carry on with the steps of the surgery and that. So because she already died. Saddest part about it is that Ray then makes it his job to make sure, because the daughter, she found the papers, she went and searched for the boy who didn't get his surgery, because he gets real sick, and Ray makes it happen, man. She gets, she's trying to do her part to make sure he gets the surgery by doing a standover on the surgeon. Surgeon's like, "Fuck." The police come and arrest the daughter, and Ray's like, "Fuck, I gotta get her out, man. How am I gonna do this?"
Shit.
Yeah,
True.
fucking. This is all in one season, bro. And I was like, damn, I couldn't get sleep, bro. It was like, once I watched the first part, second part, nine episodes later, it was like, damn, fuck, Ray is the fucking man.
I've been meaning to watch that, but I've been stuck on The Walking Dead. So,
okay.
because
the new one, the spin-off.
Yeah, so they've got 2 spin-offs, because I've already watched the finale for the actual Walking Dead franchise, the main one.
You what happened then?
They're just living out their lives.
Oh.
They're just basically...
Where's that on? The Man?
I think The Walking Dead is on Prime. I'm guessing. One is on Neon. There's one on Neon, but the new spin-offs are... I think one's on Prime and...
But does that make sense if you just start watching it? Or do you have to watch it back to the beginning?
No, you don't have to go back to... For those 2 spin-offs, I reckon you don't have to go back to, but some of the stories that relate to the past stories.
Well, that's what I like about watching Ray, because Ray Donovan, because I only started watching again from season 3.
Yeah.
And that's got 4. I watched all 4, 5, because they're playing it every day. But on top of watching that, I started watching Yellowstone again.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't talk about Yellowstone, man.
Season 3.
Ooh.
This is season 3. I think they're planning to build the airport.
Yeah.
So I've only watched 2 episodes.
Bro,
But it's
that's
like,
next
it's pretty
level.
good, eh?
Fuck, that's mean.
Especially when he's like, "Come on, grandson," he's taking the piss. What are you doing? I was like, little things like that. It's like, bro, what is he teaching his grandboy?
Bro, yeah, Cameron got me into that.
Mm.
And I was like, man,
How
I
many
could've-
seasons all up?
Five, I
four?
think.
Four, five?
Yeah.
Oh, 5. Oh shit! So this is gonna be finished soon. So I went binge watch that. I just watched one episode at a time.
Bro, I binge watched that. It took me 3 weekends.
They're having it's the second half of the last season, so that hasn't
It's
come
on
out
now.
yet. No, that hasn't come out yet
Yeah.
because they're having problems on set because Kim Costner he doesn't want to do it anymore because
Oh,
he follows only going to be season 1 and 2.
so he's tired of
yeah.
filming
So he doesn't want to fly up to
the ranch and where they film.
to Montana when they film. He said, "Look, man, I'm just gonna come up twice a week, man. I can't. do
Yeah,
that."
it would be too much because a lot of it's around him, eh?
Yeah,
His
it's the base.
decisions and stuff.
Yeah, all the character.
Yeah, so he's caused problems doing that, and they're trying to work around him now.
Maybe they should just kill him off. They should have done that earlier. I reckon they should have done that, I think, in season 3 or season 4.
Well, it might be an option because they've got McConaughey's coming.
Oh, true.
Matthew McConaughey. Don't know what he's gonna play.
I reckon it'll be a
but,
villain.
He might be the lost uncle, maybe. Coming back. If they
Oh,
can
he's got
create-
shares.
Yeah.
He owns the majority of the ranch.
But that, with that show, because there's 2 other spin-offs. There's 1923 and 1883. Fucking, they're both good.
But are they really filming it?
They're already finished with their
It's
seasons.
already out.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
So they're
I
both
think
really good.
1923 is on Prime.
Fucking
Oh, they're both on Prime, I think.
Yeah, 1883 is the probably, man, it's brutal. It's fucking brutal. I thought Yellowstone was pretty bad, and now I can see where it comes from.
But man, if you like the last thing I'll be watching, man, watch Shortland Street, guys. Go and watch it. Anyone that doesn't believe it and gives me a good old laugh. Why is that guy watching that shit? But I can go and watch it. Starting from last week, where they were recording the shooter coming into the hospital and then killing everyone.
Yeah,
They did this one, and I don't know if you would have watched senior socials, but they killed off one of the doctors. That's fucking powerful, bro. You go and watch that last season, the last episodes, so the last 2 of this week that has just finished.
All right, I'll go check it out.
Bro,
I'll go
they
check it out.
fucking, bro, that's next level, bro. Next level, eh? And like the emotion, bro. Like, talk about the emotion. Like, the fuck? You know, like when you see someone like hurt and you're like, hey. Or like that, when you see something happen and you're like, like when someone falls over and no one does anything, everyone just stands there. You feel that way watching these episodes, bro.
Damn.
But yeah, watch it, man. Got more TK.
Wow, you just reminded me too. The other thing I've been watching was that the new Secret Invasion episode that just popped out on Disney.
Yeah,
The Marvel.
I went 15 minutes in there and I turned it off.
Oh, true. I didn't mind it. I reckon it was alright. It was pretty intense in some parts. If you're a big Marvel fan, if you're a big fan of probably Star Wars Indoor, I think it's kind of the same level, the same seriousness. So yeah, no, I enjoyed it.
I've been watching on TVNZ Plus. There's a program just started. I think they're all there now. All the episodes. It's called based on a true story. It's funny, man. It's it's kind of odd, but it's funny at the same time. But it's one of those films programs I can't start watching. It's sort of like what's the one with the girl that can tell people that they're lying? Poker Face. It's kind of like Poker Face, like the same tone.
Oh,
It's like the same tone kind of thing, but it's a crack up story. It's about a couple that live in LA. So the husband he's a tennis coach, and the wife she works in real estate, and she's having trouble selling homes, and he just got not fired but demoted
Oh, okay.
to coaching kids at the tennis thing.
club.
Yeah, tennis club. So but so they had problems in their house. So they had their toilet was overflowing. So they called a plumber to come and fix their toilet. But at the same time, this is happening. There's a serial killer in town, right in LA. There's a serial killer, and he's killing women, right? Anyway, the wife, she's a fan of true crime podcasts. So she's got a group of her friends. They're into true crime podcasts. They have that group, they have a talk, they have a wine, they talk about the podcast and the podcast that they're listening to. They have this group thing. So but the hottest thing right now is a serial killer going around. Anyway, the husband makes friends with the guy that comes to fix the toilet. He's a young guy, and he goes out with him because he's having trouble. So do you want to have a beer? Let's go to a bar. So they went to a bar. They made friends. They became friends. They're just hanging out. And then there's like a murder, right? So a girl that works at the bar where they went to, she gets murdered that night. And then so anyway, they find out that the murderer is the friend, is the plumber. So the wife figures it out, right? The wife figures it out. And then they were about to call the police to get the guy arrested. But then she has another idea. Why don't we make a podcast out of it? Get him to be a guest and talk about his crimes.
What? Holy shit!
So that's what this is about.
Oh my gosh!
So I'm up to episode 4, I think.
And
This is crazy. This is a crazy story, man.
And did you say it's true?
No,
Based on
no. It's the name of the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Based on a true story. That's the name they called their
okay.
podcast. Yeah.
Fuck, that's crazy.
So they gave the guy a deal. We know who you are. We know who you are. We're gonna call the police. But you got 2 options. We call the police, or you do a podcast with us.
Fuck.
Because she's on the true crime podcast and she wants to be rich out of it. So
Holy
that's because of their problems they're having with their jobs and that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what the story's about. It's funny. It's hilarious.
Far right. That sounds real serious too.
So there's that. I watched a movie last night called Beau is Afraid. It's directed by Ari Aster, one of my favorite new horror directors at the moment. He did Hereditary
Oh man.
and Midsommar.
Yeah.
If you watch those, man, there's traumatizing movies,
Shit,
man.
bro.
You'll be traumatized.
I was.
So this is his latest movie, his third movie called Beau is Afraid. It stars Joaquin Phoenix. It's a story about a guy that lives alone in a neighborhood where it's full of crime, and his mom passes away, so he has to go to the funeral. So the whole movie is him trying to get to the funeral, but along the way he's going on these different adventures.
Holy shit.
So it's a long movie. It's 3 hours long, but it's weird too, because he's like a crazy sort of dude, but you don't know if what he's seen is in his mind
Or if it's actually
or
real.
is real, and it's weird right through, but it's cool. Yeah, it's one of those movies you either hate it, you love it, or hate it. But it's one of those. It's long, and yeah, it's weird. It's a weird movie.
It sounds good though.
But out of all the 3 movies Ari Aster's done, I think this is least.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you gotta. It's not really a horror. It is, but not really. There's some out of it scenes, some fucked up scenes. But yeah, it's
So
Yeah.
out of 5?
out of 5, I give it a 2.5.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's what I'll be watching. So you boys, local hero.
Oh, before that, what about the guy in the back of the paddy wagon?
Oh, say that for next week.
Okay.
It's a can.
Oh, local hero. Oh man, this local hero, man, we were blessed enough to have him on the back of the 135 yesterday, and this guy came in. He's a community figure. This dude's been in the police force for the last 20 years, just over 2 decades. He's part of something that's probably been well ever thought, like he actually started up a boot camp which took place in a car park in West City. Guy's name's Charles Schuster. He goes by Fatu as well. Yeah, just as his heart and just his time, for people we had him on, and he opened up to us about his story, his West Side story. But he's part of he went to Henderson High, and he was part of an elite team that beat Carlton back in the day. And I know that story is true because the dates that he gave, and then sort of like, of it being like, I think it was like, would have been like 37 years ago. 37 years ago that happened. And Henderson High didn't have First Dean anymore, but he did pretty well, like for himself. He was a up and coming footballer, played his resident football at Teretu Rugby Club before it became Waitakere. He played in Harbour, NPC A and Bs. But his heart, man, he's like such a nice guy, man, and you couldn't fault the dude. He's family driven as well, but community service wise, this boot camp that they started up, he had a West Side, was it a West Wave gym membership, and him and a few of his boys just thought, I'll just go do some mitts in the rec room, and that pretty much blew up into a box fit / boot camp. Because one of the trainers said, look, you can't come in here, run something that's not ours. They ended up in the car park in West City. And 8 years on, the guys are still there, and Charles and everything that he's done is like, he's such a nice guy. Like, he even told us, like, when it was just him and the boys doing their pad work and people would come through, can we join them? He wouldn't say no. So for them, and shout out to Avs too for giving the plug to going down and help them, like, get their numbers, because at one point there was probably like 100 people in the car park at West City at 5:30 in the morning. So, guys doing good things, great things for the community, and even the work that he does now with youth is like, it's rare. To me, they're rare. They're like gems like that, guys like him, and especially when they share the factor about time. And then he's a good sort, man. Like, anyone that knows Charles, man, he's the man. Like, and to establish and put something like that in the community, especially Rampage, is legendary, man. That's on another level. He's just like a walking saint. Like, that's up there with like David Tilly, and so my local hero of the week is to Fatu Schuster, man. We love you all, and appreciate you making the time for us.
Shout Charles, the man. All right, boys. That's it for another week, man. Let's do some last words.
My last words is I don't think I'll be here next week or the next couple of weeks because I'll be in the islands. So might as well say my farewells now. Can't wait to see the rest of the family next Sunday coming. So I think they're already there waiting. So just trying to get everything prepped there. And it'll be good to go home and get some marinara and refresh the batteries and see what we can do when we come back. So
I just wanted to share like it's good to hear you, man, like get away and going on holiday, especially with everything that you've been through, like from the start of the year with the floods and stuff. But like I've always like said every time I have my closing words, man, it's like that time factor, right? Like you're making time for others and people and spending that time with people you care about the most. I think a reflection for myself, just having the guests on that we've had on the back of the 135, and then also talking about the week that was, like stuff that's out of our control. Like, you should never let it get to us, man.
I don't.
Have a good think about it. Swear it off. Have a cup of tea, man. A cup of tea has been my best friend for the last 2 months, man, and then it's been awesome. I just like to close by saying that value the things that are most important in your life. And like I could sit down and have a good reflection about every cup of tea and just think about, man, I wonder what so-and-so is up to. I wonder how so-and-so is. Because today is my cousin Rose's birthday and I've parked it. But it also puts a smile on my face that we can remember him. I can remember him through music. I can remember him through his kids. I can remember him through his partners posting about him. I can remember him through the cousins-in-laws posting, cheers, cuz, Because he's not here with us anymore. It's one of those things like, shucks, you wish you could buy back that time. But you know that his soul's resting knowing that we smile about him now. Not so much being like, oh, fuck, But... yeah, I value him because, man, he was the I was like trying to mimic him as a kid growing up, the football, the way I was, my swag, my music. And I'm grateful that he brought J Boog into my life, man. Because a lot of the music, that in the spit that J Boog did early in his career, like resonates with me 100, So like my closing words is, man, just like value this time we have, man. Because it's not forever. But just make the best memories, man. That's what you can do. You know what it is.
Yeah, I believe that 100%, man. Just be grateful, eh?
Hard.
Yeah.
Enjoy your trip, lah.
Yeah, man, enjoy your trip, Eric. Man, mean last words, boys. Mean last words. My last words, man. Just shout out to everyone listening to the WesWes Network content. Empty out the clip, back on 1v5, everything. Man, just I'm just excited. Excited to try to put a little bit of work into our website. Like I've even looked at like getting it professionally done, make it look like a newspaper sort of thing. So I've got some. Yeah, so just remind everyone, man, if you need help, man, if you want to help us put together our network, jump on our website, www.weswesnet.com, hit the donate button, and just, if you feel like shouting us a beer, you can't, well, you can hit $5 on the donate button. And
you want to cut us out with some gear, you know what it is.
Yeah, man. If you made it this far into the podcast and you're listening to this, you must be a true fan. So
thanks for the support.
Jump on the donate button on the website. And we'll see you next week. All right, boys, let's get the fuck out of here.
Let us.
Bye.